Hi, vacation rental owner. Have you dreamed of a perfect renovation for your STR only to realize you've made expensive choices that you really regret? Listen in so you can avoid over 30 reno mistakes, from impossible to clean showers to trendy finishes that won't last more than 5 years. This episode is meant to save you money and a lot of frustration. All right, renovations. This is such a big and important topic because properties do need to be updated occasionally, and you want that big investment of money and time to last as long as possible. You want it to give you excellent ROI, and that's what this episode is all about. So this first section of choices to avoid are things I'm calling hard to clean and maintain. First, glass shower doors. Constant water spots and soap scum make these a nightmare to keep looking pristine. So instead of a clear glass, opt for frosted or textured glass, and that will reduce the visibility of any little bits of buildup that there might be. Doorless showers. Water splashes everywhere, leading to slippery floors, super dangerous, and potential mold issues. So a well-designed textured glass door keeps water where it belongs in the shower. So have a door on your shower, no doorless showers. Next, dark floors. They show every scratch and dust particle and footprint. Medium or light toned flooring is much more forgiving. Marble countertops. So to be honest, I love a beautiful marble countertop. I think they're just as beautiful as a diamond, but they are easily stained and etched by cleaners and foods with any amount of acidity, including milk. So if you love the look of marble, consider quartz alternatives with a marble-like pattern, or quartzite, which is an absolutely gorgeous natural stone. It does tend to be expensive, but it's wonderful. You can look into that as a great alternative for marble. Concrete countertops and flooring. Concrete is really prone to cracking and staining, and it's porous. It needs frequent resealing. Getting a solid surface or engineered stone for the countertop, or wood or a good tile for your floor is definitely more durable than concrete. Beadboard walls. The grooves of beadboard, it's this little skinny, it has little skinny grooves. It's really neat, but it traps dust and grime, and it's really tedious to clean. If you want texture on a wall, consider larger scale, smooth paneling instead. Small tile with lots of grout lines. More grout means more cleaning and more chances for staining and mold buildup. Choose larger tiles with minimal grout lines, and that will be a lot easier to maintain. Light colored grout. It stains and discolors quickly. It'll make your floors and walls look dirty. So instead, opt for a mid-tone or slightly on the darker tone side for grout, and make sure to use a grout sealer. Flat paint on walls. So wall paint comes in different sheen finishes, from flat all the way up to high gloss. Flat paint scuffs and marks really easily. And so you're going to, if you put that on your walls, you're going to have to be touching that up really frequently at best. Now, satin or an eggshell finish is much more durable and easy to clean. Butcher block countertops. They are not very expensive, but they require frequent sealing and careful maintenance to avoid water damage and stains. They're relatively delicate and just don't do well in an STR. Open shelving in the kitchen. Dust and grease accumulate on everything quicker than we might realize. So if you love the look of open shelving, just limit those shelves to some decorative, lower use areas. Wallpaper. It's tricky to choose wallpaper that will last a long time. It tends to be really trendy, Plus, it peels over time, especially in humid areas like bathrooms. If you want a statement wall, consider painting it a cool color or painting a big mural on it. Shag carpet. I have actually fond memories of shag carpet at my grandma's house, but it traps dirt and allergens and pet hair, and it's difficult to vacuum that stuff out. Plus, it can mat down easily, and that just ruins the floor. So, low pile or cut loop carpet is much easier to maintain. Ceramic tile flooring. It's cold, hard, and prone to cracks. Porcelain tile or a luxury vinyl plank is a much more durable alternative. This next section I'm calling trendy now, dated later. First on the list, and this is a big first and foremost for me, is gray fake wood floors. This is one choice that will instantly date your space. These floors had their moment in 2010, but today people instantly know they're fake, they're artificial, they're made of plastic, and they're uninviting. Not only do they lack the warmth and authenticity that guests are drawn to, they can also really cheapen the overall feel of your property. They aren't good for resale value. Instead, consider natural wood or LVP in a really natural wood tone, high quality alternatives to whatever is natural, because those will add depth and character to your property. Your guests will notice the difference, and at some point, your bottom line will be bigger for it. Barn doors. These were once very trendy, but now they scream farmhouse fad and they lack soundproofing. The worst of this is when a barn door is used for a bathroom. Don't do this. There are smells and sounds that happen in a bathroom that a barn door won't cover. Just use standard doors. Much better longevity. Shiplap walls. This is a trend that has also faded. It's another one that's really 2010, when everyone was pulling out any character that they could out of their house in order to try to make it look like a farmhouse. Also, dust accumulates in the grooves of shiplap, so it's really hard to keep it clean. Instead, just straightforward painted drywall or subtle wainscoting is timeless. Mixing metal colors randomly. Mixed metals can be stylish, but it's fairly complicated actually to get that look. It needs to be really intentional choices made for mixed colors to look great. So stick to 2 finishes rather than a mix of 3 or more. So for instance, brass plus black. An even simpler rule of thumb is to stick with all cool metals like silver, pewter, brushed nickel, or all warm metals like brass and copper. Now, don't get me wrong, trends can be a lot of fun and make your space look up to date when guests rent it, but keep the trends to low commitment items like art or pillows. Don't choose trendy things for your renovation, for those items that will be part of the house itself. You want your renovation choices to last as long as possible for the best ROI. Okay, this next section I'm calling general planning and considerations. First, not thinking about HOA requirements or city permits. Skipping this step can lead to really costly fines and delays. So research requirements before you start. Underestimating how long it will take and how much it will cost. Budget extra for contingencies, like have 25% more budget than you think it'll really cost, and plan for 25% longer than you think it will take. Not considering if you'll live there long term. If this property could be your forever home, think ahead. Will you want heated bathroom floors or maybe a wheelchair accessible entrance at some point? Too many stairs and steps. If you do plan to possibly age in place at this property, consider making at least a part of it wheelchair accessible. This is such a smart move for everyone, I think, because we're all just an accident away from being in a wheelchair. So if you can, make the kitchen, a bedroom, and a bathroom that's associated with that bedroom wheelchair accessible. Settling for small windows. Natural lighting gives such a beautiful and welcoming space. So opt for the largest windows that your budget allows. Picking finishes as you go. So from a design standpoint, this is one of the biggest problems that we see. So from everything I've seen, choosing items one at a time always leads to mismatched and awkward design. So select everything at the beginning. Cabinet styles, cabinet hardware, windows, faucets, appliances, flooring, and the list goes on and on. Now, this is where hiring a designer can save you a lot of issues and even help you get top dollar when it's time to sell this property. Even simply a consultation with a designer and probably an architect, but that will really prevent big missteps. I highly recommend this. And along the lines of hiring a designer, another big mistake is doing all those details DIY. Some projects, for example, plumbing, electrical, structural changes, those require experts. Cutting corners here can lead to major problems, including big safety issues. No outlet in the kitchen island if you have one. This is definitely a missed opportunity for functionality. So make sure that you get a discrete outlet in that island. That will be so practical for using small appliances there. Along those lines, not adding enough outlets in an older home. Modern families, modern households need a lot of power. So plan for an ample number of well-placed outlets, and that will just accommodate all of today's tech needs. Removing all bathtubs. This speaks to resale value in a big way. Now, of course, some people prefer showers, like a big shower space that takes up half the bathroom, but many buyers and guests who will rent your STR, those families especially, they want at least one bathtub. Choosing the wrong paint color. Lighting, room size, and undertones all impact how a color looks. So if you can, test large samples on all the walls of a room and look at it in different lighting, in different times of the day, and do this before you commit to that paint color. Sometimes you can't do this, but if at all possible, this is the way to go. If you want the lowdown on paint colors that I recommend over and over, check out I think it's episode 31, and I'll also link that in the description. Smart appliances. They sound great in theory, but typically cost a lot of money if you need to repair them, and they can become obsolete pretty quick. Usually, standard appliances are great. Forgetting to document everything. Keep records of contractor names, bids, paint colors, finishes, and purchase locations. And this will help you avoid any future headaches, including when it comes for tax time. And finally, the last mistake is not renovating sooner. When you delay necessary updates, this typically leads to worsening problems and much higher costs down the road. So if needed, go ahead and renovate as soon as you can. All right, that is it for today. There are so many renovation mistakes that can be made. So you can use this list to save time, money, and frustration during your reno. Remember to plan carefully, think long-term, and prioritize functionality over any fleeting trends so that your property will be beautiful and practical and safe for years to come. Also, really quickly, if you've ever gotten value out of this podcast, will you please leave a 5-star rating, and if you have a minute, a review? I'll leave a link for that in the description. It really helps so that other STR owners and managers can find this show. Thanks very much, and we'll talk again next time.